So at this point, we learned already the discoveries of electrons and the nucleus of an atom. And these discoveries were actually initiated by Joseph John Thomson, leading to the formulation of the plum pudding model through the cathode ray tube experimentation. And we have Ernest Rutherford and his team using the gold foil experimentation, in which we have a positively charged nucleus which is located at the center, and these positively charged particles within the nucleus are known as the protons. So for this video presentation, let's try to discuss in detail protons. So basically, protons were actually discovered by a scientist named Eugene Goldstein. So Eugene Goldstein discovered the positively charged subatomic particle of an atom known as the protons. So proton has a symbol of small p with a superscript of plus sign indicating that it is positively charged. And in addition to that, electrons, we have small e, then a superscript of a negative sign since electrons are negatively charged. Okay? So in addition to that, it was found out that the mass of the proton is equal to 1.6726 times 10 to the negative 27 kilogram. So if you will compare the mass of the electron, that is equal to 9.109 times 10 to the negative 31 kilogram for the electron. Which of these two subatomic particles are considered to be heavier, or let's say more massive? So basically, using these values, we can infer that protons are more massive than the electrons. Okay? So compare the mass of the electron and proton, which is heavier. So to reiterate once more, protons are heavier than the electrons. And since protons are heavier than the electrons, it means that the mass of the atom, which is known as the atomic mass, so the atomic mass, or let's say the mass of the whole atom, denoted by capital letter A, depends on the number of protons, since protons are heavier than the electrons. So in other words, protons, okay, it determines the atomic mass, denoted by capital letter A, since protons are heavier than the electrons. So kindly note that information because it will be used in our succeeding topics. So to repeat once more, since protons are heavier than the electrons, they will determine the mass of the atom, known as the atomic mass, denoted by capital letter A. And in addition to that, we have some examples of the elements. Let's try to connect the concept of proton to these elements. So we have magnesium in our first illustration. It consists of 12 protons for magnesium. Symbol is Mg. Then you have iodine. Iodine consists of 53 protons. And then you have, let's say this is sodium. Sodium has 11 protons. And then the last one, you have sulfur. It consists of 16 protons. So basically, if I will ask you, different elements have different protons. So therefore, protons will determine the, okay, so protons will determine the identity of an element. So it means that once you change the number of protons of an element, there will be a change also in its identity. So for example, if you have 12 protons for an atom, it is magnesium. But if you have 11 protons, okay, you try to reduce it, for example. So this element that consists of 11 protons cannot be classified or considered anymore as magnesium. Instead, it will be sodium atom. So it means that the number of protons will determine the identity of an element. Okay? And this number of protons will be known as the atomic number. So atomic number denoted by capital letter Z. So please don't be confused. Atomic mass is to capital letter A, and then atomic number is to capital letter Z. So to repeat once more, atomic number refers to the number of protons. And since the number of protons can determine the identity of an element, we can say that atomic number determines also the identity of an element. Okay, so that is atomic number. So it refers to the number of protons in an atom, and in addition to that, we can determine the identity of an element using these number of protons pertaining to the atomic number. So in other words, the atomic number will tell you the identity of an element. So elements are arranged in a periodic table according to increasing atomic number. Okay, so this will be the concept of protons. So therefore, our formula here is this. That is, the number, or let's say the atomic number denoted by Z is always equal to the number of protons. Okay, and in addition to that, the mass number at this point is actually equal to the number of protons also. Okay, so this will be our ideas at this point. So let's proceed to the next question. When do we say that an atom is neutral? So take a look with the examples. So on our first example, you have the chlorine atom, and then on the second illustration, we have the sodium atom. Take note with the number of protons and electrons. So for chlorine, we have 17 protons, and then outside the nucleus of this chlorine, we have how many electrons? So we have 4 plus 4 equals 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. So we have 17 electrons. In addition, we have 11 protons for sodium located at the center of the atom. And then how many electrons do we have? We have 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. So you have 11 electrons. So these are examples of neutral atoms. So when do we say that they are neutral? So obviously, based on our illustration, we can say that an atom is neutral if they have same number of protons and electrons. That is, number of protons will be equal to the number of electrons, and this will be the time that we can say that an atom is neutral. Okay, and speaking of neutral, the word neutral actually pertains to the charge. Okay, it pertains to the charge, and if we calculate the charge of each atom in our illustration, it has a formula of charge equals number of protons minus the number of electrons. So, what's the charge of the chlorine atom? Okay, that is 17 protons minus 17 electrons, therefore its charge is 0. So, that will be the time that we can say that an atom is neutral. So, if the charge value is 0, then it is neutral. So remember that 0 is neither positive nor negative. Hence, 0 indicates that an atom is neutral. Okay? And the same thing with the sodium atom. So the charge of the sodium atom here is number of protons minus number of electrons. That is 11 minus 11, still it is 0. So therefore, the sodium atom here is neutral also.